Okay, welcome everyone to the Redox Breakthrough webinar. We're just thrilled to have you with us tonight. And we've put together a presentation tonight that is for you. And we're excited that we have Russell Mariani, who is a health educator and has been in practice for over 40 years. We also have Dr. Rob Ward, who's one of the leading doctors in the world today on the science of redox. We'll also have a featured testimonial for you this evening. And again, we're just thrilled that you're here with us tonight. And we're gonna make sure that we cover all the details and get started right on time. So without further ado, I will pass it to you, Russell.
Thank you, Brian, and welcome everybody to tonight's Redox Breakthrough webinar. I first heard those words, redox signaling molecules, in the summer of 2011 when a good friend and colleague called me, and he had been suffering for many years, almost 10 years, from a condition caused by a tick bite. And I think everybody knows what that condition is. And he had been suffering terribly, and he had invested a small personal fortune literally traveling around the world looking for solutions. And nothing that he tried worked until someone introduced him to these redox signaling molecules. So since that time, soon after that, I, of course, tried the redox supplement myself and had some wonderful improvements and benefits, and started sharing it with other people. And I've studied redox signaling a lot over the last 9 years. And so I put together a presentation that I'd like to share with you in just a minute. And that presentation answers 3 questions. What are redox signaling molecules? Why are they so important to our health? And how can you personally benefit from these molecules if you'd like to? All right, so with no further ado, let me bring up that presentation. And just take a second here. Share my screen. And here we go. In 1997, something called redox signaling molecules were discovered for the very first time. In 1998, the 3 scientists who made this discovery received the Nobel Prize for Medicine and Physiology. Since the time of this discovery, laboratories around the world have been trying to biosynthesize these molecules and put them into supplement form, knowing how essential they are to every cell's ability to detect any problems and to immediately activate the appropriate healing response. In 2009, a team of scientists led by Dr. Gary Samuelson figured out how to do this, and the company and product called ASEA were born. ASEA is the world's first and so far the only redox-based cell signaling supplement. In the marketplace since 2009, this breakthrough technology is still 10 to 15 years ahead of its time, and many experts are calling it the single greatest scientific health, athletic, and anti-aging breakthrough of our time. The rest of this presentation seeks to introduce you to and educate you about the most basic components of this amazing breakthrough discovery. So again, welcome to today's presentation of what is the ASEA Redox Breakthrough. My name is Russell Mariani. I live in South Hadley, Massachusetts. My wife and business partner is Megan Moore, and together with our sons Brian and Evan Mariani, we run the Center for Functional Nutrition and Mariani Wellness Associates. I'm a health educator and digestive wellness expert. I'm the author of the book, Healing Digestive Illness, which was originally published in 2006, with a revised and updated 2nd edition in 2015, and I'm working on the 3rd edition right now. I've been in private practice since 1980, and our website is healingdigestiveillness.com. I've been aware of the importance of the ASEA Redox Breakthrough and its impact on human health and healing since 2011. I'm delighted you've decided to make the time to be here today so that you can gain a better understanding of this important information. During the presentation, please ask yourself the following two questions. Am I learning anything new about the relationship between the function of my cells and the health of my body? And if I could experience a real breakthrough in my health, what would that look like and feel like? So, what is the ASEA Redox Breakthrough? The purpose of this short presentation is to explain what this breakthrough is, why it's so important, and how you can personally benefit from this breakthrough if you would like to. So to answer the question, what is the ASEA Redox Breakthrough, I first want to ask and answer a few other questions in a particular sequence. And the next question is this. What is the root of all health and healing at the cellular level? This leads to two more questions. What causes us to get sick and stay sick, and what causes us to get better and then stay better? And the answers to these two questions are these. What causes us to be healthy and stay healthy is having healthy cells. And what causes us to get sick and stay sick is having unhealthy cells. And all unhealthy cells are damaged cells. Now, we all know the influences that cause our cells to become unhealthy and damaged. Poor diet, lack of exercise, negative stress, accidents, injuries, illnesses, environmental toxins in our food, water, and air. All these factors and many others contribute to an ongoing situation that causes our bodies to develop unhealthy and damaged cells. Almost everyone agrees with this simple and very disturbing truth. So, let's dive down a little bit deeper into the mysterious inner workings of our cells and see if we can succeed in making things less mysterious and more understandable so that we can take the actions necessary to regain, maintain, and optimize the health and well-being of our cells if we would like to. Now, each cell in our body has a life cycle. Typically, this life cycle is 90 to 120 days, then the cell dies. But before it dies, it gives birth to two new cells. This is called cellular division. And to be clear, some cells in our body have very short life cycles. Certain epithelial cells, which are lining cells found in our mouth, sinuses, lungs, skin, intestines, and other locations, replace themselves every 1 to 3 days. But bone cells take much longer. Bone cells replace themselves every 3 to 6 months. Now, as long as the cell is healthy, it will give birth to two new healthy cells. But if the cell is damaged, it will give birth to two damaged cells, which will then go on and produce more damaged cells. This is really important to understand because this is the basic mechanism going on inside our body every day, 24 hours a day, throughout our lifetime. This basic mechanism determines the quality and quantity of our lifetime. Now, the human body is composed of at least 100 trillion cells. Every single one of them is born, lives a relatively short life, reproduces itself, then dies. The cells in our body are either living through their life cycles in normal, healthy ways, giving birth to normal, healthy cells, or they're not. One situation causes us to remain healthy and to live a long and healthy life. The other situation is the single biggest root cause of all sickness and dis-ease at the cellular level, and it happens like this. When cells are damaged, and they don't know that they're damaged, they can't repair themselves. If they can't repair themselves, they will reproduce damaged cells, which in turn produce more damaged cells. This is not normal. This is one mechanism in which the body starts going down the wrong path, the path of physical degeneration, dysfunction, and dis-ease. This is the mechanism of how we all get sick and why we don't get better. This is the basic mechanism of an uncomfortable aging process. This is the basic mechanism for poor athletic performance. This is the basic mechanism for chronic, unresolved aches and pains in the body. This is the basic mechanism why so many people get sick and tired and can't get better. So the question is this: how? How does this happen? This happens because the cell never got this signal that it was injured or damaged and in need of repair. This is not just happening in a single cell. It's happening to millions and billions of cells throughout the whole body. And so the next question is this: why? Why didn't the cell get the signal that it was damaged? The cell never got the signal it was damaged because the cells were deficient in something really important called signaling molecules. Now here's a very simple analogy. A group of friends are out hiking in the woods. One of them slips and falls and breaks their leg. There's not enough time to carry the friend out. They need a helicopter rescue. They need to call 911. So they all take out their cell phones to make the emergency call, but no one has the signal strength on their phone to send the message that they need help. Now they're all in trouble because they want to help their friend, but they can't. They all want to take immediate action to repair the damage to their friend, but they can't. They're all blocked and prevented from helping. Now, this is exactly what happens to individual cells in our body, and it happens to groups of cells in our body. The signaling molecules responsible for informing the cell that there is a problem are not getting through, and the signaling molecules responsible for activating the precise instructions about how to fix and repair the problem are also not getting through. And this situation presents a real challenge to our health and well-being. This situation is the single biggest and most important root cause of all human sickness, illness, dysfunction, degeneration, and dis-ease at the cellular level. Now, these vital signaling molecules are called redox signaling molecules. And this is the ASEA redox breakthrough, that for the first time in history, we can restore to normal levels the redox signaling molecules in our cells. ASEA is a source and supply of bioactive, stabilized, and balanced redox signaling molecules. Now, since we know that the human body is a marvelously designed living organism, fully capable of protecting and repairing and healing itself, the question is this: why would the body allow damaged cells to duplicate and perpetuate damage, causing such extensive cellular dysfunction, degeneration, and dis-ease? The answer is simple. The damaged or injured cells are not getting the message that they're damaged or injured. The cells are ignorant of their own predicament. The cells have become ignorant over time because they've been missing out on critical information and advice. Redox signaling molecules provide this critical information and advice. So when you give redox signaling molecules to a body that contains damaged cells, the damaged cells finally get the message that they're damaged. Excuse me. When they get this message, the very same signaling molecules provide clear instructions about how to fix the damage and get things back to normal cellular functioning. This is how the human body heals itself and then keeps itself healthy at the cellular level. This is what we mean when we say that we live and die at the cellular level. So if you want to make sure that every cell in your body is functioning normally, you want to make sure that every cell is getting an adequate supply of bioactive redox signaling molecules every day for the rest of your life. And now, for the first time in history, we can do this. We can drink the molecules with the ASEA redox supplement. We can apply the molecules topically with the Renew 28 gel and the Renew Advanced serum. We can restore the health and well-being of our cells from the inside out, and we can restore the health and well-being of our cells from the outside in. For the first time in history, we can bio-replenish our cells with bioactive redox signaling molecules. Again, this is the ASEA redox breakthrough. And this is why many scientists, medical doctors, medical researchers, health writers, health advocates, and health practitioners in many fields from all around the world agree with the following statement. ASEA redox is the greatest scientific health, athletic, and anti-aging breakthrough of our time. So, what is the ASEA redox breakthrough? ASEA redox is a cellular breakthrough to help us solve the problems caused by constant cellular breakdowns. And this is why we say that everyone deserves to learn about this breakthrough, because everyone can benefit from this breakthrough. Okay, so now let's pause here. Let me take it out of the presentation mode, and I am going to introduce Megan Moore, who lives in South Hadley, Massachusetts, and she's going to share her ASEA Redox testimonial and some of the experiences that she's had over the years with these amazing little molecules. So Megan, please go ahead.
Thank you, Russell. Is this good sound? Good. Yes, good evening, everyone. And my name is Megan Moore. I'm delighted that I was invited and given the opportunity to share with you a few of my ASEA Redox experiences. I had my first taste of ASEA on August the 29th of 2011, and I have been happily drinking ASEA ever since. Previous to drinking ASEA, I was experiencing some difficulty sleeping. I would wake up in the middle of the night and I would toss and I would turn and I would create my to-do lists and I would go over them a million times and I would worry about them and I would toss and turn, and it kind of went like that. Well, about 7 to 10 days after beginning to drink ASEA, I went to bed one night and fell asleep, curled up and fell asleep. And when I woke up in the morning, I was in exactly the same position as I had fallen asleep in. And it was incredible. I had had one of those deeply restorative, nourishing sleeps of childhood. In fact, I could even remember those sleeps from childhood. And so it was wonderful. And today I still sleep soundly and deeply. In February of 2012, I cut my knuckle on a piece of glass, and it was quite a gash, and the blood spurted out of the cut. And I raced over to the kitchen sink and held my hand over the sink and saw that the cut was about 1/2 inch long and it was very deep. And I thought, oh gosh, I'm going to have to go to an emergency and get stitches. But then I remembered that about a month ago, I had seen a video that from a woman who was in a similar situation as mine. So I knew what to do. I grabbed a bottle of ASEA and I poured ASEA on the cut. And I was stunned because the bleeding stopped instantly. It seemed instantly to me. It could have been 3 seconds. I don't know how long, but all the bleeding stopped. So I thought, okay, I'm going to take care of this myself. And so I put more ASEA on the cut, still no bleeding, got some gauze, put some ASEA on the gauze, wrapped it up. And then about 3 hours later, I thought I would check it, and I took the gauze off, and very little blood on the gauze. And the wound, the cut, had actually already started to heal, and it was clean, very clean. And so today, my cut healed beautifully on its own. No stitches were needed. And today, that is just a tiny, tiny, faint whisper of a scar. I can hardly see it. A couple of years ago, I was out in our garden. I love to garden. And we also have some stone sculptures in our garden. And I was out there weeding, and I knocked over one of the stones that was on top of the stone sculpture. And that stone dropped on my foot, and it was probably about 8 pounds. And if you've ever had anything dropped on your foot, or if you've stubbed your toe, you know how much that hurts. And this really hurt a lot. So I hobbled inside and got out the Renew 28, which is the ASEA Redox topical gel. And I rubbed the Renew 28 onto my toe. And within about 15-20 minutes, there was no more pain. I experienced no more pain. And so I did this throughout the day. Every time the pain started to come back, I would put more Renew 28 on the toe that I had dropped the stone on. And by the end of the day, I was able to walk quite well. I took our dog for a walk that night, and I slept through the night. And when I woke up in the morning, my toe had definitely started to bruise that beautiful yellow purple bruising that happens. And I kept putting the Renew 20 on my toe throughout the day. And by night, I was walking normally, no more pain. And the bruising was still there, but it was actually beginning to fade. So I've had many ASEA experiences, but this one that I'm going to share with you now is ongoing. As I said, I've been drinking ASEA for about 10 years. I drink ASEA because I know that it gives me the daily boost that allows me to sustain the kind of life that I want to live. I am in my 60s, and currently I have no aches and pains. I have great flexibility. I take no medications. I sleep well and I sleep deeply. I have great clarity and focus. I rarely ever get sick. And I'm not saying this to say that I'm perfect at all, but I am saying this to say that I rely on my good health every day of my life. And I want to age gracefully this year. This way, I want to be able to play with my grandchildren. I want to be able to play maybe even with my great-grandchildren, maybe even get down on the rug and play some games with them. I want to live younger, longer. And I know, I really do know that ASEA is essential to this goal. So I think those are my testimonials tonight, Russell, and thank you for giving me the time to share, and I'll hand it back to you.
Thank you, Megan. That was great. Thanks so much. It really is remarkable to hear how a few little molecules can make such a big difference in so many areas of our life and so many areas of our health. So thank you very much. And now I'm going to introduce my dear friend and colleague, Dr. Rob Ward. Dr. Ward is a board-certified family physician with advanced training in functional medicine. He received his medical degree from the University of Illinois Abraham Lincoln School of Medicine in Chicago. His residency in family medicine was completed in 1984 at the University of Cincinnati. Since then, he has practiced integrative medicine in Kentucky, and during the last 5 years or so in the Provo, Utah area. He's recently retired from clinical practice after a 38-year career, so that he can pursue some interesting clinical research projects, write more books, and spend more time with his family. Dr. Ward is an independent consultant for the ASEA Corporation. He teaches the science of redox biochemistry through various venues, which include his website, theredoxdoc.com, and his books, Healthy Cells, Healthy Life, and his newest book, Healthy Gut, Healthy Life. Dr. Ward has served as lead physician in 15 clinical trials and enjoys exploring the world of science as he continues to learn more about the interaction between our biology and our capacity to fully express our genetic potential. Dr. Ward lives in Provo, Utah with his wife, Diane. They're both avid gardeners, and they find great joy in growing as much of their own food as possible from their own backyard garden. We're very excited to and grateful to Dr. Ward for being with us tonight. He truly is one of the world's top experts on the subject of redox signaling. So, Dr. Ward, hello, how are you?
Russell, I'm doing great. How about you?
Just great, thanks. Thanks so much for being here. So, given your extensive background in family practice medicine and clinical research, how did you evaluate the news scientific breakthrough, about this scientific breakthrough and the company that discovered it and brought it to the market?
Well, Russell, I first heard about this from a friend, and my friend was fairly good at explaining the nature of what the ASEA redox was. And as she did, I found it, well, fascinating. She'd had some benefits herself, and the problem I had was that I couldn't understand how in the world anyone was able to stabilize reactive molecules, because by their nature, they're very anxious to donate or accept electrons. It's their job as they're produced in our cells. Well, it must have been true. So I thought, well, okay, I'll take your word for it. I'll check it out. So I got on a plane flew out to Utah to find out for myself from the people that developed this and from the company officials themselves. So I had a yellow pad with questions I've been developing over a period of a couple of days. But I got out there in just a few days, and I got my questions answered. And it was absolutely fascinating. They were able to do something that most biochemists would figure would be impossible, to actually stabilize in a matrix, in a bottle, in this liquid, reactive molecules that could then be absorbed and used by the body. So that's how I sorted it out. It was just an exciting experience. And I came back home to my medical practice like a new kid. My paradigm had just sort of shifted of what might be possible in human health. And so I just started sharing this with friends, patients, people that had some interest, and it was absolutely fun.
That's great, Dr. Ward. So tell us a little bit about what that was like, sharing with your patients, and why other medical doctors started doing the same thing.
Well, one of our problems in medicine is that we have people that are oftentimes chronically ill because they can't restore what we call homeostasis, or just general balance in our health. And at a cellular level, if that's not working, your blood sugar's not in balance, your blood pressure's not in balance, there's a hormonal imbalances start to unfold, and you start to spin out of equilibrium. And so we try with various modalities, whether it be nutritional supplements or other therapies, to sort of kind of wire you back together. But at the foundation of all this is the function of these little cells we have that are unable to maintain balance. If they could, they would just do their job. A half-sick cell just will not do its job. A thyroid cell that's not in balance, that it might be acidic or full of oxidative stress or something, is not going to produce thyroxine. So we're in trouble. And so what if you could restore the health of that cell and allow it to do its job? And that's what starts to happen. And when one cell starts to do its job, the other cells they get the message. They go, "You're looking pretty good today. What's going on?" And cells talk to each other, and all of a sudden, health starts breaking out inside your body, and you feel good. Kind of what Megan Moore was just talking about.
Very good. So, thinking back, excuse me, obviously the scientific community believed that that the discovery of redox signaling molecules was pretty significant, because they awarded those three scientists the Nobel Prize in 1997. So, over the years, and as you learned more about this and introduced this to more of your patients, at what point was it in your own process of evaluation and discovery did you come to the conclusion that these redox signaling molecules, this discovery, is or might be the greatest scientific health, athletic, and anti-aging breakthrough of our time? Talk about that.
Well, the first obstacle to overcome is, getting these molecules into a stabilized, usable form. And so, having witnessed that happen, and also having reviewed the research proving from a third party that there are, in fact, stabilized superoxide molecules within that ASEA product, both in the gel and in the liquid, then it just was a matter of application. So, I'm a human being with, issues left over from athletic injuries and things like that. And I had a foot injury in high school that plagued me most of my adult life. And I had to have surgery on my great toe for what's called a turf toe. Anyway, long story short, it always hurt every day. I learned to live with that. And I never dreamed it would be possible to not have aching pain in my foot one day. But within about 2 weeks of drinking the ASEA Redox product, my toe didn't hurt. And so, I know my body. And to this day, now about 9 or 10 years later, it still doesn't hurt. So we're sort of an experiment of one. And so we just, it's kind of fun to see what's possible, but it's even more fun to share that with others who are open to explore this.
Could you say a few words about, like, the experience you had? Most pain or discomfort comes from oxidative stress, which is inflammation. Just talk a little bit about how redox molecules help the body in the area of any problems that are caused by inflammation. What's kind of going on there?
So
that covers a lot of problems.
Well, okay. Yes, it does. And so at the heart of the issue is that in our cells, we have what are called mitochondria. And these are little power plants that produce a number of important elements in our cells. One of them is ATP, which is our cellular energy. But in addition to that, there are other reactive molecules that are created that help the cell to run its operations. So a cell has to burn fuel and then get rid of waste. And there's a mechanism and little organelles in the cells that pull that off. Well, if the waste of burning fuel isn't eliminated, the cell will become acidic, and it is out of balance. The pH becomes out of balance, and it stops. The gears start to come to a halt, and the cell may die. It may be so sick that it just says, okay, I can't go on. I'm going to get out of the way, make room for some other cell maybe that do the work. So we can correct that if we can provide enough of these little molecules to this cell for it to restore some balance. And once it has some balance, it will take care of itself. It's in our nature to heal. So restoring balance and maintaining that is a key issue. Now, not all of us are willing to always do those daily habits that help us stay in a healthy balance. And we encounter stresses from our work or from tragedies in life, or because we're not able to eat certain foods, they're not available or something. These are all stressors. And if we can have a youthful balance of these molecules, just like a kid has, as we age, as you, I know, understand, we don't make as many of these molecules in our cells. And the ones, the mitochondria that make these cells become more depleted, and they're less strong in their ability to do that. So as we live life, we just need a little help. And this is the most upstream way to provide resources to your body so that it's at the headwaters of your cellular health. And downstream, a lot of things start unfolding as we get that initial redox balance in place.
Very good. That was very clear and very helpful. So as we bring this part of the webinar to a conclusion, and we want to thank you very much for being with us, do you have any kind of closing comments or advice to anybody who's with us tonight, especially for people who may be looking at this for the very first time?
Okay. I would give the advice that I sort of gave to myself. I heard a story from a friend, and it sounded like impossible to believe, but I trusted her, and I checked it out. And then I went ahead and used this product for myself. And all I would suggest is that if you or you know someone who is feeling stuck or who is seeking to improve their potential athletically, that person may really be grateful for this information and explore it. There's no finer way than to use this product as a way of exploring its potential for you. And I will also mention there are no side effects from this because this is a native molecule to our body. It is not a foreign substance. It doesn't come from plants. It's actually the same molecules that we make in our cells, so there's no harm that can happen. So check it out.
Thank you, Dr. Ward. Thanks so much for being here, and look forward to seeing you again soon.
All righty.
All right. Thanks so much. And I'm going to turn it back to Brian. So, Brian, you want to unblock your video feed, and then I'll just bring up a few slides, and then you can take us out. Okay, so hold on 1 second. And let me, actually, I'll leave that there. And here we go. Okay, so let me just say this, Brian. It is important. This is on the heels of Megan's testimonial. It's important to know that ASEA does not make any medical claims for treating, curing, diagnosing, or healing any disease or medical condition. Okay, and now please go ahead and help us wrap up the evening.
Absolutely. Well, thank you everyone for joining us tonight. Again, we really want these webinars to be very educational and to really serve you where you are on your discovery with the Redox breakthrough. So thank you very much to Russell Mariani for really guiding us through this webinar this evening. Thank you, Megan Moore, for your wonderful testimonial. And a huge thank you to you, Dr. Ward, for just your exceptional service in bringing this new technology to the world. So immediately after the close of this webinar, we will be offering a Q&A live with Russell Mariani. So if you do have any questions, that will be a really perfect opportunity to get those answered right away. And you can just follow the information on the screen. It is zoom.us. Click join a meeting, the ID there, 203-841-5712. And we will be there. And at the conclusion of our webinar, that will start 10 minutes after the conclusion. The next thing that we want to bring to your attention is that it is not safe to be purchasing this product from, let's say, Amazon or eBay or any third party. As you probably got to discover through what Dr. Ward was saying, this is a highly complicated and patented process that ASEA has created through scientists, and it's very important that that product is made at that facility, and there is only one place where you can guarantee that you are getting that product, and that is through ASEA. And we have a team standing by that can assist you in the process of ordering and getting the information that you need. So I am available here, kind of leading our team. You can contact me. My phone number and my email is right there, and please don't hesitate to reach out. So in conclusion, we will be sending out a recording of this webinar, and we will be doing that tomorrow. And you can expect to see that directly from us, the Center for Functional Nutrition. So again, just thanks for being with us tonight. And we do hope that this was educational and it did serve that purpose. So we look forward to seeing you on the Q&A, which will start 10 minutes from now. So that'll be at 7:50. All right, everyone. Thank you and good night.
Thanks, Brian. Good night, everybody.
Buddy.